Setting up shop right where it all starts. The Red Lot. Mike the intern and his dad, Bart Holmes, bring in the pregame vibes, stories, and all things Chiefs. Right here on 104.7 The Cave.
If his dad buck naked.
104.7 The Cave. Mike the intern, Jake, and his dad butt naked. It's the Red Lot.
It's buck.
It's Thanksgiving, and we're in here because buck naked. Again, Thanksgiving. How many Chiefs games have been played on Thanksgiving? You guys know the answer to that?
Ooh, that's a good
very few.
question.
Producer is gonna say they played in 10 Thanksgiving games throughout their franchise history with a record of 5 wins and 5 losses.
That's very few when you start in the 60s.
They had that stat of most, Thanksgiving wins, and it shows the regular players, Detroit, Dallas, and all that stuff. And it just in Washington. It's funny to me. But anyway, we can't get into that situation too yet. We don't want to spill the candy in the lobby, as they say. We got to talk about what happened in Kansas City on November 23rd, the Kansas City Chiefs in a do-or-die situation against a team everyone was real high up in the AFC, the Indianapolis Colts. We all agreed that if we could hold JT to 100 yards and we could rush over 100 yards, that would be the key to succeeding. And guess what, guys? We did that.
Yeah, man. Kareem Hunt rushed for 30 times. I couldn't believe how many times he gave him the ball. And right out the gate, he was getting 8-9 yards
straight up.
Yeah. And then, of course, you just know over the years, we talked about last week, Chiefs hold those guys to nothing. Look what they do to Derrick Henry. Look what they do to the Saquon Barkley. And then JT walks in, gets 56 yards, 58 yards.
That one of those, and really part of that was that one blown coverage play that he just got by, and it was really just one rush. So, I mean, all in all, I think we held them, did a lot better job of holding them at third down because they were 5 of 13 on conversions. Yeah. And that was a huge part of what I think cost us the game the week previous. I mean, there was situations where they were 3rd and 15 and they would get a first down.
Oh, yeah.
You can't let that happen. But for some reason, Denver was able to make it happen. But the Colts weren't. Dad and I went to the game. Real nice day. Perfect.
Beautiful day.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the pinnacle. I mean, yes, it's great to play prime time. Yes, it's awesome to play on Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that, yada, 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 and have 5, Sunday night football games. But for me, my whole life, for the most part, was Chiefs football on Sunday at noon. Like that's been the majority of up until the last 10, 15 years. That was it. So I miss it a lot. And when we can have those days, those are the best. I mean, it's really nice, chill, got in, had some nice food, couple drinks, and then got to listen to the victory on the way home, which was awesome.
Yeah.
It was good. Out perfect. It was good. But
there's nothing better than that ride home listening to Andy Reid give his press conference.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's the best. It's the best.
Yeah.
And especially when it's a victory on the way home, because it's not as fun when you have to then go through the mid-afternoon game and then the Sunday night game and then the Monday night game and rewatch that reel of your team losing over and over and over again.
Leaving the stadium, the difference between a win and a loss.
Oh God,
is insane.
And it's always nice too to see, especially like the video after the game against the Colts. They were on the walk down the spirals. Everyone was doing the chop like in unison together. I think my favorite post game situation was when we went in 19 when we won the AFC. And we came up with a couple of dudes I was really friends with, and it was cold, but everyone was just losing their mind. And we had lost one of our friends, Curtis, Curtis.
Oh yeah.
And so we couldn't find him. And we're like, oh, hopefully he'll know, we'll wait for him, but he's an adult. Like he can figure this out if he doesn't make it back to the car. So we're walking and all of a sudden we just hear this guy screaming, Super Bowl, no shirt on, just running. And then all of a sudden he runs by us and we're like, hey, that was Curtis. Running to the car. trying to not get there. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, all in all, I think get Rushy eventually started to click. He had a really not great first half.
Agreed.
But then once it clicked, it was just like, it was crazy. I think as long as Kareem can stay healthy, and it's going to be harder for him as he gets older, and 30 rushes, I think they need to figure out a sweet spot between 15 and 30.
Well, they need to find somebody else to relieve him that can be positive.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. But I think as they figure that out, it seemed like Mahomes settled down a lot better. Even when things went bad, he wasn't going out there feeling like I got to force this and I can't trust anyone. And you get that vibe sometimes where it's like he's wanting to force it, but he's still like, he's not letting them make plays sometimes. But again, there's been a lot of drops, so you get it. He's a human being. So, I mean, that all has to play. I thought we were a lot better in the red zone. We were only 2 of 4. We could have done better, but it was I was scared early on. I had the vibe that sitting there when we were watching it, I was like, I said to Dad on the way home, I was like, man, I was sitting there thinking, if this is going to be one of those games where it's going to come down to the wire, but we're going to have time of possession, we're going to have receiving, we're going to have rushing, we're going to hold them. I mean, and again, if you look at the stats, it's crazy. It's almost double. But the score being only 3 points is not what that game was. It should have been. So that is also a little kind of weird, because I mean, we're 494 to their 245 in total yards, and then time of possession is almost double, 42 to 25. So the point being I'm trying to make here is that the landing isn't as pretty as you want it to be. When you see those numbers in stats, you're like, well, dude, it should have been more like maybe 28-20 or 35 maybe.
That's exactly what I thought it should be.
Yeah, when your prediction.
Well, it all comes down to getting to the red zone and not capitalizing.
Yeah. And
you can put all the yards and stats together. You get in the red zone, you can't score. You're gonna.
And there is another stat going around, and I don't want to lean on the producer just yet to figure this out, but I saw a couple days ago about almost, and it's been the story of this year. The majority of our drives are like within the 10-yard line, and we're making it to the red zone, but we're not finishing it. So what that does is it messes with your morality as a team. It's like, oh my, your offensive line's out there killing themselves for the last 5-10 minutes, and they're just gassed. They get it right to the edge, and they can't do it. And then you go out and you do it again. You are still putting those miles on you as a player, but you're not able to capitalize on it. And it definitely wears on an offense.
I think the positive turn on that is at least Butker had a heck of a day.
Yeah.
Zero question of any of those field goals going through. They're all down the middle, 5 of them.
Who started him? You got him on your fantasy?
No,
no. That's a good one.
No, there's been years I would turn my back. I couldn't watch it.
Especially when it's close, when it's like 30,
yeah, extra point, you gotta hold your breath.
I'm like
exactly
55. Oh, no worries. I'm not worried about that. 25, 32. I'm like, please make it, please make it, please make it, please make it.
Right?
It's like the way we're driving home. Just make that first down. Just make that first down. First down. Let's go, baby.
Yep.
You know,
and it's like my chipping game in golf. I'm way too close.
Well, overall, I thought again, they were listening to us in our last segment of the Red Lot and all the keys to success. I thought the defense did a good job getting to Daniel Jones. They were like 40% pressure rate on his dropbacks. They shut him down. And also the red zone defense was huge. They were 1 of 6 in the red zone. That's a huge, that's a big part of why their score wasn't more than 20.
Right.
Is because Spags was able to hold them down there. And also we had 33 first downs. They only had 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it really wasn't a close game. The score.
So that's what I'm saying. You look at the stats and you're like, the Chiefs had the possession for almost 45 minutes of that game. And they only got 23 points. But again, it's those drives. They're long and they take time. And it's part of the 4D test that they have to play. But I thought overall everyone seemed to do a better job. You know,
do you notice the 2 flare passes out to Hunt? that weren't called.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, you were reminding me right then and there that you could slap me and say, see. But that was part of what his numbers were, and that's probably why he was gassed. Well, it'll be interesting to see because the Cowboys do have a pretty good run defense, from what I understand. So I think we're going to have to rely on some hands more today against the Cowboys in Dallas than we did against the Colts. But it'll be interesting to see. We're not anywhere near there yet. We'll be back to talk about kind of where we're at in the league and who we need to be watching, the playoff picture as we continue the Red Lot next. I'm 104.7 The K.
From the father-son duo that bleeds red and gold, welcome to the Red Lot. Mike the Intern and Bart Holmes are holding it down pregame style with hot takes, cold drinks, and the loudest bands in football. Right here on 104.7 The Cave.
Mike the Intern, Bart Holmes, Jake back in the studio. It is Thanksgiving. The Chiefs take on the Dallas Cowboys here in just a couple hours. The Chiefs pregame network will start about 2 p.m. and then kick off in the 3:30 range. You think Dave would be mad if I told him the story about the last time the Chiefs played in Dallas, about how he spent all that money and ended up drinking too much and blacking out and not even getting to a seat and watching the game from Arby's? Do you not know about that?
Well, you just did.
Well, it was right. It was the weekend of the time change, and the guy he was going with didn't. He didn't. So like he showed up at his house. They thought it was 4, but it was actually 3. So that makes a huge difference, man, when you get 4 hours of sleep versus 5 hours of sleep or whatever. Sure. And they got down there and I don't think they'd ever gone. And so they didn't know that if you just FYI, if you ever happen to go down to Jerry's World and you want to watch a game, you better line out where you're staying, because it's not going to be cheap. It's in Dallas.
Right.
B, where you're going to park, because that he ended up paying, I think, $150 to park in a spot at a Walgreens in that area, and then found a bunch of Chiefs tailgate, drank too much, ended up not feeling great, and ended up watching most of the game from an Arby's.
Arby's.
That's what happened. But it always cracks me up. It's like it's a word of warning. You know, when you go to Arrowhead and you want to go have a good time and you hit the tailgate, you got to be careful, because those tequila shots, Aaron, will knock you down.
That's like that guy we found out in the parking lot hit one of them great big concrete blocks.
Oh no.
Chargers fan.
Oh yeah.
He was blood everywhere, and he was just
trashed.
You could tell he was trashed because he was laying on the ground, passed out.
Been up since 5, 6 in the
Breathing
morning.
hard.
Probably didn't sleep the night before. Yeah, just out.
And he's a Chargers fan. He doesn't know how to. We're conditioned Chiefs fans here. We've been on.
We follow the first quarter rule, man.
That's right.
We follow the first quarter rule. Okay,
rules.
That's why those rules exist.
He didn't pay attention to that. Don't be this fan.
Don't be this fan.
Oh, that's funny.
That fan. Don't be that
Don't
fan.
Be that fan. So as we sit here, obviously the Chiefs are in the hunt, as they say. The Broncos hold the number 2 seed. Colts have the 3rd seed, even though they lost, and then it's those top 3 have a loss of 2 or 3, and then it just drops with that with the AFC North with the Ravens, because they're 6 and 5. So what I'm saying is it's still well within our grasp. The unfortunate thing is the Broncos and the Colts had bye weeks, so that kind of stifles the momentum a little bit. But there's still plenty of football left to be played, and again, even though we were it was a weird last Thursday to root for the Texans against the Bills. I have to. I hate Buffalo, 100%. And I just have to.
100%.
But at the same time, you kind of didn't want that to happen so much, because they are also literally it's seven Bills and 8 Texans, and we're 10. So it's a hard one to lean on, but now we really have to beat Houston after this week. And we'll luckily have that, as they call it, the extra bye, which is BS, because
10 days.
It's not really an extra bye, but definitely a nice one to have. But so again, I just sitting here looking at it, it feels like we're all taking crazy pills here, talking about the Chargers, the Jags, and the Broncos, and the Colts being in the top 5, 6 of the AFC, but that's the way it is, boys.
It is, and it's. I like change a little bit when it comes to seeing different teams up there, but man, not from the back of the classroom like I feel like we are.
The thing I think that will play in our favor if we are able to win out is that of all those teams mentioned, they're all relatively new. The new guard, as they would say, right? The new battalion, the new decade, and a lot of them, for the most part, don't have the postseason experience to know how to win in those situations. Wouldn't you agree?
100%.
So, I mean, when you look at the Patriots, the Broncos, well, the only one that I would say would be probably Josh out of LA, even though they don't have the postseason experience. He has the years under his belt, where you would think if they go the distance that he would have the wherewithal to be able to get it. But Bo, he's 2nd year, right? He's young. Lamar, I don't know, man. I as much as the league wants me to love him, and I got nothing against him at all, because I mean, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have been Baltimore's father forever, and I don't, and it is what it is. But I just, is this the end for Lamar? You think if this might be the other, or are we on the sunset of his?
I don't know, man. I think Jim Harbaugh, is it Jim? Yeah,
one of the Harbaughs.
One of the Harbaughs. I feel like it's his. If he doesn't do well, I think he's on the chop.
You think he's?
I would say that would happen
before Lamar.
Yeah.
It's just
John Harbaugh.
I don't see
John.
I don't see things happening anytime soon.
And I don't know.
They've had just enough success
to where you feel
like
they're
going to stick around till it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
Well, look at like Mike Tomlin out of Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
Every year they make almost the playoffs.
They get to the playoffs.
His savior.
But that's kind of like St. Louis Cardinals baseball in the last 10 years, 20 years. You know what I mean? That's I hate to say that, but that's it. You get it's like, just give them enough to where we keep them inside, but we just can't go past that. That still eventually becomes very, 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 very difficult to maintain.
Bodies in the seats.
When we make the playoffs, I like saying when we make the playoffs, every team except for the Patriots we have seen this year that's going to be in the playoffs. Chargers, Broncos, Bills, Colts, right? We haven't seen Drake May and the Patriots at all this year. I feel very, very well. I feel warm inside about that because we have seen, we'll see Broncos and Chargers twice, right? And then you go into the playoffs, you're like, you know what? We can beat these guys. We know how this works. Mm-hmm. We know this. We've already beat that team, and we don't lose to the Bills in the playoffs. So I feel pretty good when we hit that.
You're right, because if you look at the situation, and this may have been like we say about Reed and company holding the cards close to the chest, there is a possibility, a very, very strong possibility, that if we do make it, when we do make it, whatever, we're going to face a team we've already played. Jacksonville.
At least once or twice.
Baltimore. Yeah. Or Houston. Mm-hmm. Or another AFC divisional. So, you know what I mean? So that, I think, will play into our favor. Hopefully, maybe Buffalo again would be if we see them.
Could you imagine?
If we see
oh my.
Oh yeah.
I think that's probably part of the reason why people hate us as Chiefs fans, is because we just think that stuff's so funny when you look at it. But it is. It really is, because that's really what's at stake. And I think ultimately they have to be playing to that. It has to be.
Oh yeah, it's in their head.
Well, all I know is that Mahomes and company loves being the underdog. It loves to be on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But Dad, they keep giving us the points. But every week we were favored in the Bills game. We were favored in the Broncos game.
What was that game was it the Browns Raiders game where they punted as opposed to kicking the field goal?
Yes.
And it was like within 3 of the spread or something like that. And it was like they were on the 40-yard line.
They should have kicked the field goal.
They were like, why didn't they kick the field goal?
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very suspect.
And they're in Vegas.
It's very, very, very suspect.
They're actually looking into Jerry Jeudy for the fumble that he had, saying that he did it on purpose.
It's very, very suspect. That decision, the Jeudy thing, that's gonna be hard to prove,
right?
But when you're watching it as a numbers thing, and you're like, wait a minute, literally every, even when we had what's his name filling in for Butker as a kicker, a defensive player, what's his name? I can't remember off the top of my head. I would have said he's got a good chance to make it from the 40. Well, maybe not, but still, like 40 is not difficult for a professional kicker in the NFL. Why? It just, that to me, I don't know. All right,
is that like a 57-yarder?
50. I mean, I think it was like 30. I think it was like
50 plus the distance to the ball.
If a junior in high school in Nixa, Missouri, kicked a 52-yarder this past week.
Whoa!
Anybody on an NFL team could kick one.
He's that kid. That's the thing. I mean, yeah, it's fun to hit kids. If you're listening, it's fun to hit people. It's fun to get touchdowns, but work on that kicking game, because you're literally in the league for 20 years. And you were making $2 or $3 million a year. You play 4 or 5 times. You're in the best shape of your life. You get, come on. That's the 100%. Play. That's the play all day.
Or the snapper.
Or be
Minshew. Long ball snapper.
Or be Minshew. You know what I mean? Or long ball snapper. Winchester. Yeah, all day. Anyway, we come back. We're going to talk about our enemy, or the Dallas Cowboys, next. It's the Red Lot on 104.7 The K.
It's game day in the Kingdom, and we're setting up shop right where it all starts. The Red Lot. Mike the intern and his dad, Bart Holmes, bringing the pregame vibes, stories, and all things Chiefs, right here on 104.7 The Cave.
104.7 The K, Mike the intern, Jake, Bart Holmes in the studio. It is the Red Lot on this Thanksgiving as the Kansas City Chiefs head to Dallas to face off with the NFC Cowboys. We've had A lot have been said over the years, at least for me personally, that we get a lot of hate from Cowboy Nation as Chiefs fans. I don't know why. I don't get it, but there is a pretty strong Chiefs fan base, or excuse me, of course, Chiefs fan base in this area, but also Cowboys fan base in this area. And over the years, as I've gotten to know them, they're always like, I hate the Chiefs. And I'm like, why do you even care? You're an NFC team. I don't understand it. Like, maybe if you were in your 80s and you're like, I remember whenever you guys were in Dallas and we always hated each other. Okay, cool. I get that. 80-year-old guy who watched them play in Dallas when the Chiefs were the Texans. But other than that, like these people that are like, I just hate the Chiefs. It's like, you just hate us because we're more successful than you. If that's the case, then
100%. They hate
Shut
that
your
we're
mouth.
dubbed America's team. They currently, and it does date back to that. Those guys, those older gentlemen, they hate the Chiefs because Lamar Hunt brought the team up to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And so they kind of hold, that's typical Cowboys fans. They're all holding on to 30-year-old trophies.
Texas, what do they call them?
We were good back in the
grudges.
90s. Yeah, well, do something relevant in the last 28 years. They haven't. 2 playoff wins. I hate the Cowboys.
So one thing about the Cowboys, my grandfather, my dad's dad, was a massive Cowboys fan. Why did he like the Cowboys?
That and he liked KU too.
Well, I know, I get, but I
that's
don't,
scary.
but I don't, but for my whole life, I could never understand.
I don't, just because it was different and because
he just wanted to be that guy.
Yeah, he's like Ollie.
He just wanted to be that
whoever,
guy.
whoever's playing.
I'm gonna whip that kid up today. He says a word about it. Grandpa Shug's there. Grandpa Shug's gonna put the hammer down. That kid ain't gonna be doing that stuff around us. No way. I told him, you do that again, you're not going to any games. You're gonna be on a 10-year suspension.
He was a big Landry and Staubach fan.
Yeah,
that's old.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Those not to trash those guys.
Oh,
yeah, but
it would be old.
Yeah, but those were cool. Those were great players, and they were like road dog dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way it was. When you passed the ball 5 times a game, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Smoking on the sideline.
Yeah, smoking in the huddle.
Yeah, sitting on the bench,
passing sixers.
Yep.
On the sideline.
But Landry in his hat and his suit and tie and all that. That was.
We need to get a coach.
Classic.
McDaniel had an opportunity. You know what I mean? As a young coach in the NFL, to not lean into the whole stereotype that millennials and generation whatever are lazy and they wear sweatpants and they don't care, because that's exactly how he could have brought that back. He could have came out in
Miami
a suit.
coach.
Yeah, he could have came out in a suit, came out with class, set the tone for the new generation of NFL coaches to get back to that. I like that.
Not a good location to have to do that.
Well, no, but I mean, still, like
he came in the league looking like McLovin.
Yeah,
and right now he's like Scarface.
This kid was undefeated online playing Madden.
Yeah,
right.
He
like
was.
No one beat this kid, and they were like, we got to get this guy a coaching job. See how well he does. But it's exactly the stereotype of the guy who plays Madden in his basement, and that's exactly who that dude is. Anyway, so back to what you're saying, there is a trophy between the Chiefs and Cowboys that has existed since 1998. Jerry Jones and Lamar Hunt created this thing. It's literally like a piece of plywood with a Preston Road sign stapled on it, and whoever wins in that matchup gets to have it until the next time they play. The Chiefs is currently in Clark Hunt's office as we speak.
Right. Dallas came to Arrowhead. We beat them. The game that you were probably talking, was it the one that your buddy was down Dallas?
I think that one in Dallas. I'm pretty sure that's the one.
So that's the one where we looked like we didn't know what football was.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill scored at the halftime.
Horrible.
And we never scored again.
It was just
it was bad.
Oh, it was sad. Very, very sad.
But we got our revenge because we held Dallas to 0 touchdowns when they came to Arrowhead. Hopefully, I think today's Cowboys, they have, you said they had a run defense. They're ranked 22nd. I was just looking it up here. And, they came off of a win against the Eagles that kind of gave them a little bit of life. They were down 21-0. And I hate that. I hate that coming into this week, especially against our Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because it gives them this weird sense of we've got life. And I just hope the Chiefs ruin it for them. And I think they can. I know they will, actually. They're defense is not that good.
Yeah, I think you can look at it both ways, though. I think maybe they're riding high and thinking they're
Hey,
invincible.
That's
They have a
hard. That's
slept.
kind of
Maybe
what
they have a
I
slept.
kind of like that
Okay.
that take, because I would have been a little bit more fearful of a wounded animal going into Dallas that have had kind of a star-crossed season. They traded away arguably the greatest NFL defensive player in the game right now for nothing. What the hell are we doing? We have no identity. There's really no locker room. There's really no leadership, because it's Jerry's team, because I guess he's a leader when he wants to be, but that's not true leadership. Anyway, I don't want to get on that. I think them winning could have been the best thing. Well, and again, we did the same thing too, right? We won, and maybe we're going thinking, we knocked out
I don't know. It's been such an up and down year for us. We win one, lose one, win one, lose one.
Yeah.
So I don't think their psyche's going to be affected too much by last week.
The line right now is Chiefs favored 3.5, which is crazy, because if this was at Arrowhead, it'd be 6.5.
Is that three? Is that 3 weeks in a row now?
It's Vegas, man.
4. Wow. We've been ever since the bye week. We've been.
But it also plays, I think, back to what I've always said. It's gambling in professional sports, specifically the National Football League, is just, it's not a fun. It just, no matter how good I think you are as an analyst, or you really think you can do that stuff, you cannot with conviction tell me that this is how you pictured this would be where we're at in week 13. There's no way. I don't care if you're lying to yourself and your wife about all the money you've lost, because it's just not, there's no way. But again, going into this, I really, really wish they would have put Dallas. There's no way Dallas would have been favored in this game, but maybe made it a little bit closer, like a point. But I don't know. It's football. Let's do Know Your Enemy. All right, so the Cowboys so far this year, as far as their stats go, like you said, 22nd in run defense. Not horrible. I don't think that pickup they got at the trade deadline was really as monumental as they thought it was going to be. At least it hasn't been like 2 or 3 weeks since then.
Yeah,
it hasn't really been a lot. Pickens has had a pretty good year for them. I think that's something we're definitely going to have to watch big time. Javonte has been okay, but he's nothing to write home about. I don't think Williams has really been a whole lot.
He gets the primary of their runs, but again, our run defense is fantastic. Here's who I worry about. You got CeeDee Lamb and you got George Pickens, right? But kids like Turpin, those guys can go for 100 yards easy, and he's good. And again, the Cowboys kind of play it the same way we play it, where you got those kind of niche players, those Thorntons, that it really is 1 or 2 receptions and they're already at 100 receivers. What I mean? And that is a scary thing. They are out without, as of right now, Tyler Gutton, their tackle, for an ankle injury. That's probably going to be one. But other than that, everyone has been full practice going into this game. Their cornerback, Kylene Carson, is questionable going in, had limited all week. So that was a hamstring. So that might be something we can exploit going into the game. Other than that, it really comes down to what kind of Prescott you think we're going to get today, Dad? You're going to get a good one or a bad one?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Who knows?
And who
knows?
Yeah.
I think it's, if we can confuse him and rattle him, he's
100%. He's the worst when it comes to getting out of the pocket and making a good pass. So if we can get a little pressure on him, he's not going to be good. They do like to air it out.
We had almost 3 picks against the Colts that just in and out of hands. Like there were 3 that just should have been interceptions. And I feel like that's also been kind of starting to become a running theme for us in our defense. Like we don't have the interception numbers, but the almost interception numbers would be pretty astronomical if we could just get a couple of those back that got popped
Two
up,
guys hit at the same
missed or
time.
whatever.
Yeah.
There's been a few. There was a few against then, and I have a feeling I'm hoping for a Thanksgiving miracle today, and we can get a couple takeaways from the Dallas Cowboys. When we return, we'll give our predictions. We'll talk about the injury report for the Kansas City Chiefs. You are listening to the Red Lot on your home for the Kansas City Chiefs, 104.7 The Cave.
From the father-son duo that bleeds red and gold. Welcome to the Red Lot. Mike the intern and Bart Holmes are holding it down pregame style with hot takes, cold drinks, and the loudest fans in football. Right here on 104.7 The Cave.
.7 The Cave. Mike the intern, Jake Bart Holmes in the studio. It is the Red Lot on this Thanksgiving Day. Chiefs take on the Dallas Cowboys, 3:30. Your Chiefs Radio Network with Mitch, Danon, and all the boys in Kansas City are in Dallas. They'll take over around 2 o'clock, and then you're with them until the end of the game. We in the break, Pops asked what the over-under is in this one, 52.5, which last week, the Colts game we mentioned was a 50, and had either one of those teams capitalized in the red zone, it would have been the over, but it was well under that 50 mark.
Yep.
I feel like today is going to be, I would say I go over on this one. I feel like the NFL is going to want a high scoring game, and I think that's what we're going to get in Dallas.
I agree. I think that we're going to have times where we're going to pull our hair out. Because we know our defense has been stellar all year, honestly. And the Cowboys do, Dak, like we said last segment, airs it out. He's got some good receivers. He has a decent running back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to come down to not getting burned and not playing, there's a couple of times I saw a thing where McDuffie saved a play where he's yelling and screaming and throwing his hands up because there's a guy wide open. It's about everybody it's a team sport. Yeah. We got to make sure it's not just one player.
Disciplined football, which has been the running theme all this year.
100%.
Also, what do you think before I go? He just brought something up that I completely ignored this entire episode that I want to get back to, but you go first. What's your on the over under?
Under.
Yeah.
You're 21-27. Chiefs.
Okay, you're saying close.
Yep.
Defense are coming to play. I feel like if
I'm just going off of what happened to Dallas last week.
You're right. You're
24-21. So
yeah, that's true, and it's wise. Also, we want it to be under. We want the Chiefs to have the. I think, but we'll see. The officiating, bros, last week was atrocious. I hope now the whole rest in Kansas City thing is gone. There was a blatant hold in the end zone.
Yes, there was.
That's a safety all day.
Omenihu was going to nail that guy.
When we finally hit the car and we're driving on that last drive, all I kept screaming, and you remember, was how much BS this was, that we're having New York official rules to slow down a drive and let the defense catch their breath. And they did that to us twice in that drive. That's insane. No other reason. Yeah. What other reason? And again, if you're going to spend that much time on those details and those moments, then that's fine. Let's do that the whole game. But you didn't do that up until you felt like it was necessary in OT, which is crazy.
Well, it's the commercial police calling and saying, "Hey, you guys are playing this game too fast."
Yeah, but
slow it down.
We got to get our spot breaks in. But still, that's crazy. It just those 3 instances, and again, it was across the board. But still, those 3 instances are huge. That's no call hole in the end zone where his arms were wrapped around his neck.
100%.
That's a safety all day. The rep is literally right behind him.
Yep.
In view.
That's a safety all day long.
What he's looking at, I don't know. But I hate to come out and be like, man, this is garbage town. But seeing it there and then coming home and watching the video after the fact was just like, man, because when it's hard when you're in Arrowhead and you're in the moment and you can't really see it all. But man, watching it on TV, I would have been losing my mind over that stuff, especially stopping those drives. There has to be some sort of a conversation about that is becoming a lot more commonplace when you're seeing offenses starting to roll and it stopped down 32nd minute. And that just gives that defense that edge.
It does.
To give them a little bit of a break. You lose your it screws everything up. And especially in OT and like at the end of the game, like I could get it when you're in the early parts of the game, whatever. But when you're getting to that moment, you just got to stick with it. You got to let them play. Can't just do that. It's crazy.
No, I agree.
100%.
It blows my mind. Anyway, sorry, I had to get that out. I just didn't want to pass over that because our officiating, I hope, is going to be a lot better in Dallas. Let's hope that Jerry's officiating crew, who is?
Oh, this is the. You feel like it's Carl Cheffers.
If I see old Carl's name, oh my goodness,
he's gonna lose his
mind.
John
Hussey. John Hussey is the ref. He's been in the league since 2015. What's his record? Hussey record for Chiefs. Chiefs have 7-2 record when games are officiated by John Hussey in the Patrick Mahomes era, 9-3 overall when he's the head referee. So the most recent game he officiated for the Chiefs was the 2022 regular season matchup against the Bengals, which I don't know if we won that.
Which year? What year?
2022
against the Bengals.
Yeah, regular season too.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yep. We won that game.
Your memories are a lot better than mine.
Losing the Bengals was in the AFC.
We lost that game.
Was that the year that the Bengals went to the?
No, that was in 20.
That was in 20.
No, they beat
21.
us. They beat us in. No, that was the year because they beat us in January. Well, no, that would have been the final. No, that would have been the. Yeah, conference. No. Yeah, the year previous. So the 22. Okay, this is going to get weird. The playoff in 22. So the January of 22, not the next year. So we're talking about the regular season of the next season.
Okay.
But yes, they beat us in the conference championship in that game by a field goal.
That was the game after the 13-second
God,
game.
that was heartbreaking.
It was.
But at least we didn't lose it to a coin flip. Okay, that's all I'm going to put out there, Tom Brady.
Exactly. I was at that game too.
Yeah, I was at that game too, and
that was brutal.
Horrible. Let me real quickly. Let's look at the Chiefs injury report as we get close. Got some banged up dudes going into this. Noah Gray concussion protocol.
What a catch!
Oh my God!
What a catch!
His whole body just coiled around it. How he had the wherewithal to do that, I'll never know. Trey Smith, that's going to be a significant loss.
What's Trey got?
Leo had a limited practice, but he's good. What'd you say?
Trey got rolled up on.
Yeah.
Anything major?
No.
Okay.
And then, we had, Pacheco is in, Mahomes is in, he had a groin. Karloff has been dealing with that thumb. Worthy's been dealing with that ankle. So again, they're all kind of banged up a little bit. It's either leg or the soft tissue stuff. Juwan's in, so he's good to go. Hopefully he can do a little bit better. Roland Wallace, who I think has been pretty good, young defensive player for the Chiefs, he's out. He did not practice with a back injury. I guess Monday was full, but something must have happened between that game and on that third day did a limited, and then he was out yesterday, so he's out. That might hurt too because he's been a pretty good tackler for the team. Other than that, I feel like it's our destiny. We have to win out. And what a way to send a message if we can go into Dallas on Thanksgiving while we're all stuffing our faces
Totally
and shove another L to Jerry Jones and company, right?
No, I do think that's going to happen. I wonder how much we rely on Isaiah Pacheco today.
Yeah.
He's back. He's been announced.
If
He's
we
going to
can
play.
get to that ebb and flow of we need 5, bring Kareem in.
Exactly.
We need a slot receiver, easy side thing. Give it to Pacheco and see what he can do. Don't put Pacheco in yards to gain situations.
Agreed.
He doesn't have the eyes for it.
Nope.
No.
But you look in the flat and you see him, he might be able to get 7 on you before you stop him because he has that explosiveness. He just needs to have the space to do it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the
Right.
patience or the eyes to do it. For whatever reason, Kareem Hunt is able to make the space and make through there. And his yards after gain have been incredible this year. So that hopefully is the situation. Because I felt like up until like they were trying that early on in the season, that kind of he's for the 5, we need a 3 or 4 or 5. We'll bring in Hunt. We need he's early down as Pacheco, but Nagy kept throwing Pacheco through like we're trying to do. They don't need to use him that way. So hopefully they're listening to us and they'll use them the correct way. That's how I feel.
I agree.
I mean,
yep.
Sometimes I think we've been a little hard on Nagy as far as play calling, but I don't think sometimes it's so much that as utilizing and putting your players in the right position to make them succeed with the tools and the skill sets that they have. Right.
Yep.
And when they utilize Rice correctly in those situations, success. Juju Smith-Schuster is a great example of that slant real quick cross pass. He's going to get it because he's damn near a line or running back size. They lean into those skill sets for those players, and that's why they succeed. And I think that's been part of the running back problem isn't necessarily the running backs and their talents. It's them being put in situations where they cannot succeed because they don't have that skill set.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a coach's deal. A player's going to do whatever you tell him to go out there as a safety, and he goes, "You're going to kick that field goal, safety. You're going to go out there and kick that field goal because your coach told you to do it."
Mm-hmm.
So that's I think where the ownership of the coaches need to come in, and hopefully they can figure it out. Either way, go Chiefs. Chiefs Radio Network's about to take over. Jake, Dad, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, the Chiefs Kingdom. We love you. Go Chiefs, and we'll see you next time when the Chiefs take on the Houston Texans back home at Arrowhead for Sunday Night Football on December 7th. Have a great Thanksgiving, and go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs, baby.